Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Here.
Mr. Coghill? Ms. Gross?
Here.
Mr. Mosley?
Here.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Here.
Mrs. Warwick?
Here.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Lavelle, President?
Here. 7
members present.
Thank you. Next, will all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda has been amended. Our next order of business is proclamations, and we have a number of them this morning, but we also have our wonderful controller with us, so I want to begin with those two proclamations. So will Ms. Perrette and Ms. Novak please come forward? And if you have family with you, they may also come forward.
You're coming too.
Hello. Good to see you.
Hey,
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi. How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh,
So this morning, we want to honor two individuals who are retiring from the Controller's Office, who together, I believe, have served close to 80, if not more years, servicing our city. And so we want to thank them for their years of service. And I will begin with Ms. Patty Perrette. Whereas life's most valuable of all gifts are those that are difficult to calculate in material terms, given discreetly and without thought or reward. And whereas Patty Perrette, daughter of Eileen and John Pillage, grew up in Brookline, has distinguished herself in the humble, selfless acts that she does for others. And whereas Patty Perrette, a graduate of Elizabeth Seton High School, began working for the Controller's Office on January of 1978, hired as a clerk as needed to type the annual report for City Controller John McGrady. And whereas Patty Perrette has taken on numerous roles and responsibilities within the Controller's Office that monitor city government-related expenditures and payments. And whereas Patty Perrette has worked with City Controllers John McGrady, Thomas Flaherty, Michael Lamb, and now Rachel Heisler to provide the independent and objective oversight that protects city dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse. And whereas the world has been changed by her work, a claim that not many can make, the perseverance and leadership by Patty Perrette exemplifies her dedication and the contributions towards improving the quality of life for all people in the city of Pittsburgh. And whereas Patty Perrette embraces a new chapter in her life so that she can devote more time traveling, cooking, and doing volunteer work with her husband Dale, her 3 daughters, Megan, Caitlin, and Shannon, and her 4 grandchildren, Jackson, Alexandra, Lucy, and Jonathan. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh and the City Controller do hereby recognize and honor Patty Perrette for her 46 years of work and dedication, contributions with wishes for a long and happy retirement filled with good health, friends, family, and laughter. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare January 30th, 2024 to be Patty Perrette Day in the City of Pittsburgh. May I have a motion?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I'm going to now move on to Ms. Novak, and then I'm going to bring our controller up to give remarks, and then we'll ask you to also provide remarks. And whereas the health and vitality of the city of Pittsburgh is reflected in the participation of those activities that further the strength of the community. And whereas Gloria Novak, a lifelong resident of Pittsburgh's North Side, daughter of Thelma and Victor Novak, grew up in the East Street Valley and now resides in Observatory Hill. Whereas Gloria Novak, a graduate of Teal College, earned a master's degree in education from the University of Pittsburgh, began working for the Controller's Office as a performance auditor in 1984. Whereas Gloria Novak has taken on numerous auditing roles and responsibilities, becoming the Controller's Performance Audit Manager, ensuring city goals and objectives are being met, as well as making constructive recommendations for improvement. Whereas Gloria Novak has worked for City Controllers John McGrady, Thomas Flaherty, Michael Lamb, and Rachel Eisler to provide the independent and objective oversight that protects city dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse. And whereas following in her mother's political activism, Gloria Novak is a 26th Ward Democratic Committee member, former Ward Secretary, former State Democratic Committee member, and former President of the State Committee's Women's Caucus. And whereas a person's heritage and neighborhood can become a very important part of who they are, which is notable in Gloria's dedication to preserve the charm of Northside neighborhoods by helping create the group Observatory Hill Incorporated, serving on the Northside Leadership Council's Real Estate Committee, and singing with the St. Boniface Holy Wisdom Christ Our Savior Parish Choir. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh and the City Controller do hereby recognize and honor Gloria Novak for her 40 years of work and dedicated contributions with wishes for a long and happy retirement filled with good health, family, friends, and laughter. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare January 30th, 2024 to be Gloria Novak Day in the City of Pittsburgh. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. It is approved. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank Council for honoring my colleagues, Gloria and Patty, today. I started in the City Controller's office 3 years ago, and few people have been as helpful and kind and generous with their time and explaining how things work and what's going on than Patty and Gloria. If you want to know where a check is anywhere in the system, Patty Perrette can tell you. And if you want to know anything historical about the city of Pittsburgh, Gloria Novak can tell you. So they informed me. I have loved working with you every day for the last 3 years, and I wish you both long, happy, and exciting retirements. And I look forward to seeing you out and about and not on Zoom calls or on Teams calls in the middle of the morning. So thank you for your service, and thank you to Council for honoring that today. If we can all just applaud one more time and wish everybody a happy Patty Perrette and Gloria Novak Day.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks, Council. Thanks, family. Thanks, my coworkers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a few more words to say. Nobody's known me and not thought, gee, she has nothing to say. No way. First of all, I'd like to dedicate, I started in 1984. Richard Caligiuri was mayor. And we had no computers, we had nothing, but I had my dictionary. And I'd like to ask President Lavelle if he'll put this in the archives of the city for the past service that dictionary gave to the performance auditors back in 1984 before we had any type of electronic anything. So thank you. My staff was like, get rid of everything. I said, no, I'm going to donate it. Second of all, I'd like to thank our city controllers, Tom Flaherty, Michael Lamb, Eileen Kelly, who helped Tom all her life and has been a great friend, and currently with Rachel. You know, I was a little bit nervous about having a female boss, but I soon, you know, made her comfortable and took care of her. And then the other thing I want really people to realize is that your workers in the city are great, are just absolutely fantastic people. And we give our all. And I look back in my 40 years, I've made wonderful, wonderful friends. Some have moved on to our Heavenly Father, and I'd like to acknowledge Christopher Smith, Nancy Perlman, Trudy Hoover, and just so many, Jeff Cadam, that were friends of mine. And you get so close to working with people here in the city. And I think Rachel saw we had people from the parking authority come toward the reception, people from real estate, people from OMB, and just incredible to thank everybody. So in closing, and I know you're all like thinking, thank God, that woman's got to shut up. But, oh, I really want to thank Jill Lamb, because she helped me decide to get my knees replaced, and that was a major, major undertaking for me. So I wish she could have been here. There's tons of memories, and keep remembering that your workers are your backbone, and they are fantastic. Thank you all for the time.
Anyone else? If not, if we can all come close so we can all take a picture.
Yes, come on, city control, first family, and then if the controller's office staff who's here would be willing to come up, and we'll do a group photo too.
And I like the friends that are here from real estate and everything.
Yeah, no, I don't. Here, I have.
If all members would come forward.
Thanks, Councilman.
You want your family alone? Yes. Thank you, thank you. Your family alone, and then my family? Wait, you forgot one.
Right here. And here we go. One more.
Back family. Where's Annabelle? Annabelle. Come on, Annabelle. My sister. I have a camera.
Controller members.
Yeah, group photo with both retirees, their families and members. Okay, perfect. And then the controller's office staff will come up next.
Can the council come too?
Yeah, that's members. Yeah. Okay, controller's office staff, past and present, please join us.
Hey, good morning.
People work in the controller's office.
About 60. Wow. Yes.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
That's it, he says?
Ready? Everybody right here.
Sorry.
Here we go. Yes. All right, and here we go.
I go no glasses sometimes. Sometimes.
Thank you. Councilman Charlin?
Yeah, that'd be great. See you.
Liz. Councilman Kraus, if you could pay attention over here. Everyone up.
If all those here for Liz Stiles' proclamation could begin coming forward.
Doing a proc for this time.
What's going on, buddy? Got a packed house today.
I'm surprised. Allison, how are you? I'm invited.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Hey, Chief. How you doing?
So this is a special proc for me. Liz is more than just a community leader in the South Side and in Zone 3 and all throughout our district here. She's really become a friend, and frankly, when I was going to run and when I realized that was probably in my future here, Liz and Robert were among the first people that I talked to, and their support and their guidance has been really important to me over the years here. And I just really thank you very much, all for your leadership and all for your work here, but more importantly for your friendship. I know I can always call on both of them, although today's not about Robert, today's about Liz. So it is an honor for me to be able to present this proclamation. I'll read this here, bear with me. Whereas Elizabeth Style, Liz, was born and raised in the Baltimore area and earned a master's degree in organizational psychology and has worked in nonprofit and public sector in the nonprofit and public service sectors all of her professional life. And whereas in 2007, Liz began a career with the city of Pittsburgh, first as a consultant in the mayor's office, then continuing as a coordinator for the Department of Justice Weed and Seed program, combining that work with a deliberative democracy project that gave rise to the Hilltop Alliance. And whereas Liz used her talent, energy, and experience to continue working with and for the city of Pittsburgh, where she revitalized the Block Watch program and started the Safer Together program for the Department of Public Safety. And whereas during both Mayor Ravenstall and Mayor Peduto administrations, Liz coordinated the City of Pittsburgh's National Night Out Initiative, an annual celebration of community that brings together residents and public safety officials for the neighborhood block parties citywide. And whereas shortly after retiring from the City of Pittsburgh in 2016, she became a founding member of the the South Watch Committee, with a mission to improve the quality of life on the South Side by bringing people and institutions together to identify code violations, advocate for their remediation, and monitor their outcomes. And whereas Liz volunteering further, Liz joined City's Zone 3 Public Safety Council and was elevated to the president in 2018. And whereas under her leadership, the council thrived, increasing initiatives like Picnic with Police, expanding block watch participation across the zone, providing K through 12 schools with hats and gloves, and adapting detailed agendas and guest speakers to Zoom meetings during their pandemic. And whereas after the pandemic, online and hybrid meetings continued with record attendance and have included Chief of Police Larry Scarrato and Mayor Ed Gainey, who Liz shared an office with at one point during the Ravenstall years. And whereas Liz has performed the body of work with characteristic charm and attention to detail, inspiring and training the next generation of civic leaders in Pittsburgh along the way, including me, now therefore be it resolved, in recognition of her service of the city of Pittsburgh and its citizens, and on the occasion of her retirement from her position of president of Zone 3 Public Safety Council, the city of Pittsburgh does hereby declare today, January 30th, 2024, as Liz Style Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I believe, Liz, you have some comments?
I have such a great story I want to tell.
I always have comments. Council President Lavelle, Councilman Charlin, members of City Council, friends and neighbors from across the city. I want to thank you for this proclamation. I'm certainly honored to receive it. I want to say a few words about our Zone 3 Public Safety Council and the people who have supported it over the years that I've been president. And I want everybody here to know, there's so many people here, this is great, that in each police zone there is a citizen-led Public Safety Council. And if you want to learn about what's going on in public safety, what's going on in your neighborhood, in your zone, how to work to resolve crime or quality of life issues, Public Safety Council is the place to go. So I just felt I had to put that plug in for the Public Safety Councils. And you can get in touch with the Department of Public Safety here to find out how to contact the persons who manage those groups. But as I said, I do want to tell you about the Zone 3 Public Safety Council and the people who make it work. First of all, it, along with the other councils, was formed in the 70s. And our mission was to serve as a vehicle for the exchange of ideas, information, and advice so communities may work together for solutions to problems of mutual concern and to develop more effective and efficient communication community and the Bureau of Police. In other words, as we say on our Facebook page, Z3 PSC serves as a bridge between residents and public safety personnel. We do basically three things. We hold meetings. We hold general monthly meetings, and they're both informational and solutions-oriented. The informational pieces are the guest speakers that we invite to talk about public safety issues or some topic of interest to our members of our zone. We always have our zone commander present and our representatives from our elected officials as well as other community leaders so that when residents do come with problems and with issues, there's a way for them to learn how to respond to those. And we hope that people leave our meetings knowing what the next step is to resolving the problem. We also support the development of neighborhood public safety groups and activities like block watches, believing that each community, neighborhood, or block watch has the responsibility to identify and help maintain the quality of life and public safety concerns. Some of the funding that comes from this council has gone into our getting some materials to help support our block watches. So thank you for your kind offering, I think. Anyway, I want to pause here for just a moment and honor the memory of Donna Williams. Donna Williams was a resident of Carrick who was our champion of block watches. And we have a number of block watches in Zone 3, thanks to Donna. We're searching for somebody else to kind of not fill her shoes, but certainly lead that project. And then each year we've chosen a primary project that will benefit all the communities in Zone 3 that can be completed within a year's time and that is sustainable over time. So we're not putting out a lot of effort and energy and do it once. One memorable project held in 2019 was a community picnic with police. It was totally open, totally free, old-fashioned picnic with lawn games and basketball games. Police were there, fire, EMS, park rangers, and others. Everybody ate hamburgers and hot dogs together. We had a local DJ playing music. It was great. It was a wonderful community event. We had about 300 people there, and the parrot. I wish I had a picture of that to show you all. It was really great. So what I want to go into now is that this work, these events, the meetings and everything, wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all of us working together. You here in council, especially our former councilperson, Bruce Kraus, Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith, and our current councilperson, Bob Charland, Public Safety Administration, and its outreach offices, especially the Safer Together coordinators, most importantly, John Tokarski, Ian Reynolds. Ian has worked directly with us, Chrisara Johnson, who's just begun to work with us, and Jay Gilmer, who was the coordinator of the Stop the Violence initiative, all have contributed to our progress and have provided sound advice. The commanders over the last 5 years, beginning in 2018, with Karen Dixon, now retired, to Jeff Abraham, who's our current commander. Not to mention, in the past 2 years, we've had 2 short-lived commanders and about 3 acting commanders. They've all been very helpful, and we've managed to survive those kinds of changes, which I think says a lot about the integrity of our communities. I can't say enough about our community resource officers. I know that position is changing at this point, but Officer Christine Luffy, Brian Shelton, and Andre Wright did excellent work in promoting safety in our neighborhoods. Beginning with my tenure in 2018, Roy Blankenship served as vice president, Jess Benham served as secretary and social media expert, and Rose Nelson served as our treasurer. These dedicated individuals really formed the foundation for where we are now. However, life intervened, and eventually our 4-person executive committee was reduced to 2. But to keep us going, Charlie Ellison from Knoxville, Nicole Stevens from Bells Hoover, Patty Stewart from Mount Oliver, St. Clair, and now Jeff Martin, who lives in Arlington, have stepped in as an advisory committee. We've relied on Judy Hackle from Allentown, Cheryl Veach and Donna McManus in Carrick, and Barbara Rudiak from the South Side Flats as sounding boards for strengthening the Zone 3 Public Safety Council. I want to thank those people for their support. I want to give a special shout out to the South Pittsburgh Peacemakers, whose street outreach and violent interruption teams have served our zone over many years, even before the city instituted the Group Violence Intervention Office. I also want to give a shout out to Tom Smith and Margie Smikla from the South Pittsburgh Reporter, which carried articles to our neighbors about the Zone 3 Public Safety Council. Again, that was a great informational outreach for us. I'm sure I've not mentioned everyone, and I apologize for those that you have that I may have forgotten to mention. And I just want to say I've been very honored to serve in these neighborhoods and to get to know the people who live there and to build friendships over the years. I'm going to miss this work. I'm going to miss you all. I'm going to miss our folks in Zone 3. I will remain as interim president into 2024, working with the Z3 PSC members to develop a new leadership. I look forward to continuing to work with the council as it moves forward. I'd like to finish by thanking my husband and partner in non-crime, Robert Cavalier, whose thoughtful comments and love have supported me during my tenure. Thank you all.
Yes, well, as Liz's husband, I must say that every day is Liz Style Day. But I also noticed over time that after every monthly meeting, the next day she'd begin to work on follow-up activities, notes, and that would continue for a week or so, and then the transition to the following meeting would take place, doing outreach, setting the agenda. So she did that for 5 years, and it really showed in the quality of the meetings that we've had over those years. She had several comments submitted by email, and I'm going to read one that seems to summarize them up. This is from Reverend Eileen O. Smith, Executive Director of South Pittsburgh Coalition for Peace. A great and tireless community servant you have been for the many years that I have known you and worked with you. A tremendous loss in the community, but at some point we must take our rest from the struggle. I'm not able to be here today for the proclamation, which is so deserving, but I will be watching it and wish you well. May every blessing be bestowed upon you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Rudiak, Second Vice President of the Southside Community Council. And the only thing that I want to say is we all know here how difficult community activism is. And we always hear from people that have the one correct solution to the problem. And that's not the case with Liz Style. And what I've appreciated over the years that I've been president of the Southside Community Council and now second vice president is that I've had a thought partner. And we've spent considerable amount of time just talking about the issues and trying to figure out solutions. And there's always more than one. There are times that we find that one, but it's always among a lot of other there's other issues, other solutions. So it's her thoughtfulness, it's her thoroughness, and it is deeply appreciated by me because I am the same way and can sit there for an hour or two, I'm also retired, to talk about these things because you're not rushing to try to figure out how to solve problems. And so I've appreciated that over the years. And because we live close to each other, I know that that will continue. So thank you, Liz.
I did not prepare a speech, but I'm not speechless. Congratulations, job well done. The time that I've got to spend with you over the last decade or so has been great. The impact that you've had on our community, the engagement you have with our officers doesn't go underappreciated, probably goes understated. So thank you very much. Enjoy the time off, put your feet up, you've deserved it.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Liz, for everything. Well-deserved congratulations and well-deserved sort of rest, because I know you're still going to be interim president. I just want to say that Liz has created a couple things in public safety. She's created a legacy in public safety. She's created two major programs. One is, as she mentioned, the Safer Together coordinators, which, thanks to the support of council, went from the time I started here to 3 Safer Together coordinators to now we'll have 6. So one for each zone. Each zone will have a dedicated full-time staff member to help liaise between the general public and all of public safety and all of our programs. And that all started from a seed that Liz planted a few years ago, right?
That's true.
And then zone public safety councils. We have 2 zone public safety councils that are the most active. It is Liz in zone 3 and then Ms. Zena in zone 5. They have created models that we're working to emulate in all of our councils. When I first became public safety director, I quickly got a phone call from Liz saying, hey, Ms. Zen and I want to meet with you for coffee. We want to talk about public safety and what we think you could do better. So she was always helpful, always willing to reach out and let us know what was going on. we need eyes and ears in the community, and we can't do this as government by ourselves. We need everybody involved. So Liz is a great example of that, and we appreciate everything you've done. And congratulations again.
Can we get members up for pictures?
Okay. That's okay then.
You're first.
Councilwoman Smith? You have 2 proclamations?
See you guys. Oh, all right, all right. Kristen saying that. Yeah, I am too.
We have a lot of proclamations today. Thanks for everyone for waiting as we go through them because they're so important to acknowledge all these great people. And my first proclamation is Catholic Schools Week. Is anyone here for Catholic schools? Oh, good. Thank you. Come forward, everyone, for Catholic schools. You have some people with you. Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And let me just say, the nuns at my Catholic school would probably be shocked that I'm the one reading the proclamation every year for Catholic Schools Week. So they're probably like, please don't. Anyway, whereas the 50th Annual National Catholic Schools Week is celebrated January 28th to February 3rd, 2024. And whereas the Catholic schools of the Diocese of Pittsburgh observe the week with masses, assemblies, and other activities for students, families, and parishioners, and community members to celebrate the impact of and excellence of the Catholic schools. And whereas 99% of the students who attend Catholic schools graduate, and of those, 86% go on to attend a four-year college. All indicators to include that Catholic schools are providing and producing extraordinary young people who are successful and committed to their future. And whereas when dedicated teachers base their methods on love for the church, they create an atmosphere of servants and leaders, which is what makes Catholic schools succeed. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend the Catholic schools of the Diocese of Pittsburgh that serve our city residents by teaching students to become faith-filled disciples, future leaders, and enriched citizens in our communities. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare January 28th through February 3rd, 2024 to be Catholic Schools Week in the City of Pittsburgh.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's approved. Thank you.
You want to say a few words? Why don't you come up and talk a little bit and say a few things? You know the routine here.
I know. Good morning. I'm Michelle Peduto. I'm the Superintendent of Schools for the Diocese of Pittsburgh, and I'm here today to thank you on behalf of Bishop David Zubik, 13,000 students, 1,100 teachers, and at least 10,000 parents and guardians. We are so grateful for this honor, this recognition of the schools in our diocese during Catholic Schools Week. Our graduates go on to provide great service to the city of Pittsburgh and to the surrounding areas. And I am grateful to President Laval, councilmen and women, and particularly Councilwoman Cale Smith, who has been a kind friend throughout these years. And we're grateful for the recognition here today. I brought some of those future servants with me today, and I'm delighted to present the president of Oakland Catholic, Kelly Lazara, Matt Stossel, the president of Central Catholic, Kevin Sheridan, the principal at Central Catholic, and these are truly why we do what we do, our students. And if I could just have them go, I could do their names. I'm confident I could do the names. But could we take the microphone and let them introduce themselves so they can get a feel for this? Because someday they might be coming back.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Sorg, and I'm a senior at Oakland Catholic High School.
I'm Kennedy Dalton. I'm also a senior at Oakland Catholic.
I'm Anastasia Piacentini. I'm a senior at Oakland Catholic as well.
I'm John Beeson. I'm a senior at Central Catholic.
I'm Galen Hardy. I'm a senior at Central Catholic.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ari Metz. I'm a senior at Central Catholic High School.
Go ahead, so they can see. Yes.
I'm Kevin Sheridan. I am the interim principal at Central Catholic.
Matthew Stossel, president at Central Catholic High School.
Kelly Lazara, president at Oakland Catholic High School.
I had the blessing today of having Kennedy Dalton here. Kennedy was a student of mine when I was a principal. She was in 4th grade at the time. I've aged much better. She's aged. I'm sorry. She's. Pardon me. That was definitely a Freudian slip there. She has aged much better than I have. So again, grateful to you, grateful to the Pittsburgh area. What a blessing you people are to the city and to the area. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, and I'm going to tell you a little story. My sisters went to Cathedral, Oakland Catholic, when it was Cathedral. When I came along, my dad said, "You're going to Southside Catholic." So anyway, he wasn't wasting his money. But I will say that my brother was the vice principal at Central for about 20 years. And when I went to a dance one day, and I come in the room, and everybody's like, "Your brother is such a..." And there were all kinds of stuff about my brother. He benched the entire Central football team because they failed an English exam, and it was a playoff game. So I went home like like Jan Brady, "You're ruining my life." But anyway, I want to say those people, he told me one day they'll thank him, and they did. And one of them was Reverend Burgess. Well, he taught Reverend Burgess. He taught Doug Shields, John Tokarski. A lot of people that are doing amazing things in the city of Pittsburgh. So you won't regret it is what I'm going to try to tell you. So anybody want to come up for a photo? Can I say about your retirement? And I just want to thank Ms. Peduto, Dr. Peduto?
No,
Mrs. Peduto, who actually is Mayor Peduto's sister-in-law, but she's retiring. And so she's done an amazing job for the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and I just want to thank you for all your work. Especially, I don't know if you remember, St. Agnes at the bottom of the hill, and Robert, you did an amazing job there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you guys brought out the paparazzi here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to sit down for a minute, wait till they're done talking. Now, can we have the amazing Nancy Burns and crew please come forward? Bring everyone with you. Everyone who's here for Nancy, please come forward. Hey. Hi, honey. But she brings them out. Hey, how are you? Let me just say, this is just a few people Nancy brings out when she does. Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Good. So I'm just going to say, Nancy Burns lives in Sheridan, and she and her wife do amazing things for the city of Pittsburgh, and especially throughout the community of Pittsburgh. And today we're highlighting some of the things she's done with softball, but make no mistakes, if there's a need or somebody who needs help in any community in the city of Pittsburgh, Nancy and Renee are ready to jump in and help. So I just want to say they've done a lot of good things for the city of Pittsburgh. See, she takes charge as soon as she goes anywhere. She takes charge right away. Whereas Nancy Burns grew up in Mount Washington at a time when there were no sports offered to young females in her area. She belonged to the Catholic Youth Organization League, but had to be in the 9th grade to begin softball. And whereas at 16 years old, Nancy spearheaded the softball league at Dilworth Park with the help of some of her teammates and her father, who was the commissioner of the Boys Baseball League at Dilworth Park at the time. And whereas the league began in 1973 with girls ranging from the age of 8 years old to 12 years old, the 8 teams were named after zodiac signs, and the girls picked their favorite colors for uniforms. Nancy's team was always red. And whereas the girls shared the field with the boys' leagues until the lower field was constructed. The games were held every night, and the girls were always excited to play. And whereas many parents were involved with their child's softball season in one way or another, Nancy was never short on parent participation, and she's the same way at Whittier School now. So parents would volunteer to coach or to help coach and to become a community softball league. The young girls made the many friends through softball. And whereas the softball league at Dilworth lasted for over 20 years, however, Nancy coached for over 44 years. She coached her own children, and she coached the children of the young girls whom she started with. And many of the young women are still friends today. Nancy views them as family, and they still all call her coach. And whereas the league now plays at Skookum Field, which is actually owned by Washington Heights Athletic Association, since there are fewer teams, and Nancy watches the grandchildren of the original girls that she coached. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize Nancy Burns and thank her for her contributions that she made to the sport of softball and to the girls she has coached. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, January 20th, 2024 to be Nancy Burns Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay, Nancy, we're going to let you say a few words, but does anybody else want to speak? I just want to say who you have with you. So when you're done, say a few words, and then we're going to have you
introduce them.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to introduce them, then we'll let them introduce themselves.
Oh, okay. That'd be good. That'd be good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep it short, sis. Like us.
Okay. My father was a big influence for me because he was a commissioner down Dilworth at the time, and there weren't any sports for the young girls there. So I asked him, can we have a softball league. I had a younger sister, and there was nothing for her to do. So we worked it out, you know. The girls, they were some of my ball players from way back when. They limp like I do, so I must have wore them out during softball. I'm sorry, yeah, I'll be done. But it's been wonderful to volunteer, and like Teresa said, that Ms. Cal-Smith said, that I would get parents involved. I believe parents should be involved with their children. They should volunteer. It means so much to the child. It means a lot to the child to see their parents that participate with them.
Did you know my dad?
But they're my family. My children, I taught my own children to play. The girls call me coach. The young girls that I coached in '73 still call me coach. It's been wonderful. And they're all family. And like I said, I go see their grandchildren play ball now. Thank you, Council, for everything.
Nancy, I'm one of the girls that you coached. You were a great coach, but you're even a better person. I just want to say thank you. You really made a difference in the community of Mount Washington. I'm so very, very proud of you. Thank you for all that you've done.
Anybody else want to say a few words? Do you want to say something? Come on over. Yeah, she's going to say anything.
Hi, my name is Mary Pope, and I'm one of the original softball players coached by Nancy. And we always had a great time. Our team was Gemini, red, of course. And Nancy, I can't not think of a better person. She deserves this. She's also taught my children and now my grandchildren. So it's pretty amazing.
Hi there. Oh. Hi there. I'll be brief here, but I just kind of want to add a little more detail to the story here and kind of express that softball only kind of scratches the surface of the way my mother serves the community. For a good better of the more than half of her life, she taught the people of Mount Washington and Carrick? I believe it was the people of Carrick? Brookline. Apologies. She, for half of her life, she taught the people of Brookline and Carrick. Not only did she teach them, but she focused on the kind of part of it that nobody else wants to acknowledge in their day-to-day lives, and that's the special ed department. You know, there are people, our youth is in such a fragile place right now, and it's refreshing to see that the people who I know might have even had the scrappier reputations when I was younger, you know, still look at me with respect through her. You know, people don't ask me how I'm doing so much as before they even ask, how's your mother? You know what I mean? It's it really is an incredible thing to see, and it extends more to just teaching and instructing. She does more than just teach you about softball or teach you math and reading. She teaches you about life and how to try at least to be a better person, because that's all any of us really can do. She believes in this. She believes that the parts of us that, the little scars that kind of we carry around with us that make us seem ugly or disfigured, she likes to look at those people and call them different and give them a chance. And that's really what makes her special, is that she'll fall on her sword for anybody, no matter where they really came from. So yes, congratulations to her, and thank you guys.
There's not many that can follow him, but we have Sonia.
One quick thing I'm going to say about this lady who grew up on the street with. She had no choice but to take me in her arms. I had 3 older brothers, no sisters, so you can imagine my life. I came 6 years after my last brother. So this woman here just took me under her wing and said, come on, I'm taking you with me. So of course, yes, I was one of those kids on the softball team that she coached, and I never changed colors. And never will. I love you.
So I just want to thank Nancy. And John, did you want to say anything? John Massalera, who runs Ream Rec for us. Do you want to say anything? No? Just so you know, he runs a recreation center every single day in Mount Washington and doesn't get paid. He does it as a volunteer. So he does an amazing job there, so thank you, John. Okay. Anybody else want to come up with a photo? Yes. Yeah, come on. Well, you represent Mount Washington. But I just want to be clear. They do a lot in Mount Washington, and Duquesne Heights, but they do a ton of stuff also in Sheridan and Elliott and Esplin and all kinds of neighborhoods. Nancy and her wife, Renee. Renee's.
Thank you, beautiful. Nice to meet you. I serve for you.
But next year.
And Councilman Warwick? Yes.
We should have one every day. Yours is the only one that says, oh, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything you do. Your son's comments were really good.
He should go into politics. You need to talk to him.
He wants, is he interested in politics? Is he interested? He likes let's help him with art. He likes politics, that's what politics is. Yeah. I'll sit down with him and talk to him. Sorry.
No. Okay.
I'm going to introduce this, but I'm going to hold it.
What's that?
For lower the parking rates again. But I'm going to get you the money.
Okay, so Officer Shiffrin, would you like to come up?
Sorry. Oh, you're right. They're crazy. You know, I wanted to tell the story about when Miss Dow was up there.
Have anybody like to come up with you? Yeah, sure, whoever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Please. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have it. I'll let you know. Yep.
A project to tell you about.
Okay.
That my staff, I have a draft of this grant that's due today.
Okay.
But it is the project in border districts of it,
Okay.
which is Penn Avenue. So Penn Avenue Business District, SPAC Brothers.
Right. Yeah.
Your district.
Okay. Thank you. So, last but not least, we're going to honor Officer David Shiffrin. Before I read the proclamation, I just want to say, I was trying to think this morning when the first time I met Officer Shiffrin was, and I was like, wait a minute, was it a Lincoln Place? Was it a Hazelwood? Was it the Zone 4 meeting? And I couldn't remember because basically he's everywhere, right? He's everywhere in the community. And it's been a real pleasure getting to know you over the past, year and change. And like you, I'm a transplant here to Pittsburgh and sort of came to this job from lots of other things, and it's nice. I sort of consider you, I'd say, a Renaissance man, as we'll hear in the proclamation. And I do also want to say that I know that you may be retiring, but you certainly will not be putting your feet up or anything like that. No, you'll be keeping busy, to say the least, I'm sure. So, at any rate, let's move to the proclamation. Whereas David Shiffrin was born and raised in Brooklyn and came to Pittsburgh in 1989 to attend a Master's of Fine Arts program at the University of Pittsburgh, and upon graduation began a fulfilling career as a university professor, screenwriter, and novelist, writing westerns, short stories, and contributing as a ghostwriter to a popular young adult detective novel series. And whereas, after completing several ride-alongs with law enforcement to better understand characters for a story he was writing, Shiffrin decided to attend the police academy at age 48 and has since dedicated over a decade of service to the force, with 7 of those years spent as a community engagement police officer for the City of Pittsburgh's Bureau of Police. And whereas Officer Shiffrin combined his observational and listening skills from writing and from his service and highlighted them in his non-traditional police work, including organizing summer programs for youth, film studies classes for the University of Pittsburgh's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, and various chess club and short story reading groups. And whereas Officer Shiffrin started a chess club at the Hazelwood Library, giving youth a consistent, accessible, and intellectually stimulating event to participate in with their peers and develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And whereas this effort became more formalized and developed into the Pittsburgh Police Junior Chess Club and expanded club locations to the Beachview, Knoxville, Sheridan, Brookline, South Oakland, and other Pittsburgh neighborhoods. And whereas Officer Shiffrin initiated short story discussion groups at the University of Pittsburgh's Homewood and Hill District Community Engagement Centers, where adults age 50 plus met weekly to discuss stories chosen for their variety and rich content, allowing participants to share their ideas, perceptions, and life experiences in discussions relevant even outside the classroom. And whereas Officer Shiffrin's Jewish outlook and ideology has inspired him to lead with empathy and understanding, and whereas Officer Shiffrin will be retiring from the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police on January 20th, 2024, that is today, after dedicating years of service to his community, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize Officer David Shiffrin for his service to the City of Pittsburgh. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, January 30th, 2024 to be David Shiffrin Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Congratulations. Say a few words.
Yeah. I won't speak long. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. I came to policing late in life. And I came to it from a background in teaching and writing. Actually, when Zone 4 Commander Dan Herman found out about my past, he said, "Great, you'll be my education guy." And he assigned me to be a community resource officer, which I really was thankful for, because it would give me an opportunity to use a lot of my background and training and experience in a new arena as a police officer. So I'll say I'm grateful to him and the police department generally for recognizing and showing what I would consider foresight and wisdom in not only recognizing not only me and my talents and background, but other officers for what they've done before becoming police officers or in addition. And it's a way for, I think, the department to benefit and the citizens to benefit in that people who are interested in what they're doing or bring things that they've been interested in before don't watch the clock and become proficient at it because they like it. And generally, you become good at what you like doing. And that proficiency, as I see it, is positive and reflects well not only on the officer but on from the chief on down, the whole department. And I think it inspires trust and confidence on the part of the citizens who see police department and individual officers who are caring and good at what they do. I'll mention just two things that I learned during the community resource officer function that I was performing. One is that I really enjoyed using what I had brought from my past jobs into, again, this new context of being a police officer. But also, I noticed that, and really strongly believe that there's a place for and importance in community engagement, police officers and citizens. Playing chess or having short story discussions gives the two parties, police and citizens, a chance to meet on, call it neutral ground, and as equals, essentially, too, and that opens the door to conversation. And that conversation leads to the fact that both share many goals and concerns, like having safe streets and public safety generally. So, although no longer a police officer with the city of Pittsburgh, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to continue this kind of outreach in some capacity. I enjoy it, and the people, these are some of the people who are in the classes I meet, seem to enjoy it too. And I wouldn't be, I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't mention that. Of all the days of the year, January 30th, this is my mother's birthday. She passed in 18, but I know if she's watching, she's saying, you just gave me the best birthday gift you could. So thank you very much. Thank you. Chief.
Real quickly, could we have a motion to approve the proclamation?
Motion to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Chief.
Yes, sir. Could we get maybe just a picture or two of the group? And
Yeah, we're not leaving out.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. We'll do a picture at the end.
Absolutely.
Keeping this moving, when I met Officer Shiffrin, he was a young sprite recruit in the academy, and I was his teacher, so, but it worked out somehow. And his story was really unique in that he was a writer, he was a teacher, and he's in a class with like 19 and 20-year-olds. And I said, do you really want to be a police officer at this phase of your life? Do you know what you're getting into? And he's intrigued for the profession. His desire to be involved and engaged in the community was evident then, right? And as while we're looking for creative ways to engage with community and connect with kids, he talked about this chess program and these short stories. And back then, I'm not sure it was as receptive for some, but it was an effort worth exploring. And look where we are today. The impact that you have made on our community is immense. The exemplary fashion in which you represent the Bureau and this patch on your badge will not be forgotten. No, it's not ending today, but congratulations on a successful career and the way you've impacted the city of Pittsburgh and represented the Bureau of Police.
Good morning. My name is John Paul Gomez. I am a co-founder of Hope for Tomorrow, Inc. With my wife, Keisha Gomez. We operate out of the West End of Pittsburgh, serving at-risk youths and families. On behalf of Hope, I just want to say thank you to this great man. He came in the community, teach chess every Wednesday in partnership with Hope, and just to see how the kids gravitate towards him. He's caring, he's loving, he's human. He wears a badge as an officer, but before all of that, he's a human being, and he exemplifies love, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Officer Shiffrin.
All right, not to take much of your time, just to tell you a little bit about Dave that maybe some people don't know. My name is Sebastian Loguerra. I'm not originally from Pittsburgh. I'm not originally from this country. I came here years ago. I like chess a little bit, but I then saw on Twitter some posts from this guy, right? And I was like, that's interesting. Somebody that represents, the police. Keep in mind, I come from a country where the police is not seen as your best friend, right? And then to me, it was amazing what he was doing. And then I started following him, not knowing him yet. And it was incredible during COVID, which was a very complicated time for many of us. He was putting efforts to go to, Market Square and different communities. And I absolutely started being admired by what he does. Later on in life, I have the chance to meet him, become friends. But it is still to this day, to me, it's amazing that somebody is so engaged with the city and especially with the police, and is trying to get the community so close. And and put it together. And I don't know, it's fascinating, it's great. I really love the fact that he's getting this recognition. And thanks for everything you did.
So I wanted to say a few words really quickly. Officer Shiffrin, I know that you work citywide now, but when I first met you, you were Zone 4 Community Resource Officer. So I've gotten to know you over the last several years, and it's everything that you do that demonstrates to, I think, young folks what a police officer can be. You're in it for all the right reasons. You're such a servant leader. You showed up to countless block parties with your chessboards, ready to teach all the kids in our district. You continue to do that when I ask you to. When people expect you to come back, and you come back every year. To the short story courses you've taught, to, who knew that you were teaching film courses at Osher Lifelong Learning, to my mother-in-law, right? Like, you're everywhere. You're doing so much great work. And on behalf of the Bureau of Police, I think that's a really strong statement. And exactly what we want to see in our officers and our servant officers. So just thank you for all the work that you've done to be a bridge builder over the years. I really, really appreciate it.
Okay, good morning. My name is Helen Turner, and I'm a part of Officer Shiffrin's short story reading group. And it comes a time when large books become a little bit too much for you. So thank God that he bought the short story reading group. And I just really appreciate him. Thank you.
So would members like to come up for a quick photo?
And Madam Clerk, I believe we have two to be read into the record, one from Councilman Wilson and one from Councilman Charlin.
Councilman Wilson presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Gertrude Stein for her innovative writing and for being a pioneer in the arts. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, February 3rd, 2024 to be Gertrude Stein Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And also, Councilman Charlin presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare January 30th, 2024 to be Carnegie Library, Pittsburgh. Southside celebrates 115 Years Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve both proclamations?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both have been approved. Our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which may or before city council. Profanity is not permitted. Once you are called, please restate your name and provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belsuver, Lome, Togo, Global Intelligence Society, candidate for President 2024, globalintelligencesociety.org. The campaign music influencer on me primarily has been, for the Rondos, my group, Toshiki Karomatsu. One of his songs that is really important to me is All Is Vanity. The public comment that I'm doing today is in the dossier for the U.S. Supreme Court that I furnished to the court on the U.S. vote. A concern of Pittsburgh City Council is the vote. Yet not one individual claiming to have been voted in to act as counselor, I think this is a vanity show, has publicly supported my principle of vote by voter verification for whom not one has in public verified that their votes, their own votes, 2023 and 2021 have not been misplaced or misapplied. They do not want to do so. Warwick's quote-unquote badass team wants none of us to do so. I think this is vain. I think you think you're the whole show. Mr. Wilson said on 8 January 2024 that I'm quoting, I passed ordinances. Excuse me, sir, you did not pass anything. The council did. Voting is the U.S. Constitution Amendment 1 guaranteed key of free speech, which is the core of U.S. Republican democracy. We, the people, must be in control of our vote, or that Republican democracy is dead. Since we don't have control of our own individual votes, our democracy is dead. Among those who are supporting this, Mr. Wilson, Ms. Warwick, Gross et al., and Allegheny County claimant to the executive office, Sarah in Amarato. On 12 January 2024, I got a text from SI who, quote, wants your voice in county government. Did you all get one of those? Here's my voice, SI, in Allegheny County, Pittsburgh City public comment. On 24 January 2024, I voice challenged you to go to the ACED, the Allegheny County Election Division, to see if your vote has been misplaced or misapplied. This vote by voter verification for whom act is guaranteed by both the U.S. and Pennsylvania constitutions. Yet Allegheny County and the state of Pennsylvania deny this guarantee. Will she help us rise from the dead?
Thank you. Our next speaker is Naomi Mullen.
Here, I honor my husband, who was a true public safety servant of the public from the 1970s until 2021. Shady trees, not shady deals. and Bon Air. This is for you, Michael. According to the Pennsylvania Constitution, the purpose of government is for the peace, safety, and happiness of the people they serve. The Bon Air Memorial Green Space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air community. Without that, there is no valid governance. The Pittsburgh Public School Board and administration are again looking to close school buildings. Yet they have allowed Bon Air Elementary to sit empty for decades. Thousands of dollars wasted every month, yet they won't cut the taxpayer losses and move on. Does our district board member not have enough clout? The previous head of business and finance would not allow her to attend meetings about Bon Air School. He ignored her calls and emails. Is this an example of discriminating against a white female? Clearly, financial losses make no difference to those who simply waste our tax dollars, then hike taxes again. Why is there no oversight by the controller? Why is there no pressure or influence to stop this waste, fraud, and abuse? The solicitor obviously does not advise the school board and administration to stop harming the Bon Air community. First, the teachers union led the charge for residing outside the city, so their children could attend better school districts. Then it was the police who said their children were bullied in city schools. Now the firefighters have fled areas like Cranberry and Mount Lebanon school districts. Way to go, running the good incomes out of the city. Thank you, Pittsburgh Public Schools. This was read at my husband's funeral. Retired Deputy Chief Mike Mullen touched the lives of many people. His uncompromising dedication to a sworn duty to provide for the safety of the citizens of Pittsburgh was truly exceptional, and one that should be emulated by every firefighter. His legacy will serve our citizens and firefighters for years to come. He was a loving and compassionate husband, father, brother, relative, friend, employee, and neighbor. He lived a full life, as his obituary so accurately described. He was passionate, tireless, dedicated, highly conscientious, and caring. Well done, Michael, well done. Rest in peace, my friend. A first responder memorial green space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air community. Shady trees, not shady deals. Thank you.
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood. For the record, you will also be given 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, I'm Bernadette. Whoa. What just happened? Guess that was a mic drop moment. Oh, I can't. Okay, I'm Bernadette from Beachview. An art contest thousands of years ago, Rome's 5th or 6th, somewhere around near Pope, went to Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo to each paint a portrait of his son Caesar. I'm going somewhere with this. They confiscated all the real ones. You can Google office Pope and you'll see who the real Jesus looks like, not his son. Anyway, now yesterday I saw a horrific video of the arrest and torture of Mr. Rogers. As someone myself with rotator cuff, shoulder impingement, arthritis, C5, C6 herniated discs causing myopathy where I drop and just I can't put my arms behind my back. And I saw that. I'm in physical therapy and I thought, what in the flamingo heck is going, anyway. I researched all over, even across the pond, and there are lawsuits everywhere from people getting injured on this old archaic way of handcuffing people. Behind the back, the pain will trigger the brain to fight or flight, run. tax-exempt deities, hospitals and universities, council and Pope Mayor Gainey can challenge the Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo tax-exempt deities to get together with physical therapists and come up with a better method, a better cuff that can put our city on the map and change things worldwide. It's very simple. It protects the officers, and it's going to protect the accused. Now, very quickly, yesterday I go to the JCC all the time, the Jewish Community Center. Yesterday, I saw one of the many, many parents who go and pick up their kids at the Jewish Community Center on bikes. Sometimes they have a tow with 5 kids, a baby on the back. A motorcycle officer pulled him over and demanded his driver's license. What? There has to be code changes. These families, they can't find parking spaces, so they're biking it in Squirrel Hill. Can we not find a better method? He made him get off of his bike and walk the bike through the crosswalk. And I looked up in the state laws, you don't have to have a Pennsylvania driver's license. You can get a ticket for whatever, but we need to make that area safer. We got bike routes and shared bike routes all through the south side that I used to go to Ormsby Pool on. Why are we pulling parents over and demanding driver's license? I just...
Thank you. Any further speakers? Any further speakers? Seeing none, that takes us to the presentation of papers. We'll begin with Councilman Sharlin, Chair of Human Services.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
No new papers, Mr. President.
I think you have
I
one.
thought we, no, I thought we were withdrawing that today, right? Oh, I had 2. Okay, well, here, I stashed that in here. I got it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill 65, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh into a professional services agreement or agreements with the Center for Emergency Medicine of Western Pennsylvania for the provision of medical direction services at a cost not to exceed $30.00 over 3 years.
Thank you. Next is Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology. Councilman Mosley for Councilwoman Gross.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Deborah L. Gross presents Bill 67, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of East Civis, Inc. for 1-year subscription in an amount not to exceed $18,000.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Kahari Mosley presents Bill 68, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 1315 Western Avenue at no cost to the city. Bill 69, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 320 Cedarhurst Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15210 at no cost to the city. And Bill 70, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Allegheny League of Municipalities for 1-year membership dues in an amount not to exceed $9,000.
And then Councilwoman Cale Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam
Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith presents Bill 89, resolution amending Resolution 909 of 2023 titled Resolution Authorizing the Fee Schedule for 2024 pursuant to Chapter 170 of the City Code to reduce the cost of employee parking.
And then Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 71, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Dickey, McCamey, and Chilcote PC for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $27,286.58 over 1 year. Bill 72, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of a single payment in 2024 to the Allegheny County Health Department at a cost not to exceed $8,000 in full and final settlement of enforcement proceedings for violations of Article 21, Air Pollution Control. Bill 73, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 797 of 2017 as amended, effective December 28, 2017, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2018 capital budget and the 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2018 through 2023 Capital Improvement Program by reducing complete streets by $70,581.06 and increasing street resurfacing by $70,581.06. Bill 74, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 863 of 2018, effective January 1st, 2019, as amended, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2019 capital budget and the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing complete streets by $72,853.77 and increasing street resurfacing by $72,853.73. Bill 75, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 723 of 2022, effective December 27th, 2022, as amended, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2023 capital budget, the 2023 Community Development Program, and the 2023 through 2028 Capital Improvement Program by increasing complete streets by $226,068 to account for additional Federal Highway Administration funding being received by the City of Pittsburgh. And Bill 76, Resolution amending Resolution Number 857 of 2023, effective December 27th, 2023, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2024 capital budget, the proposed 2024 Community Development Program, and the 2024 through 2029 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Charles Anderson Bridge TIP by $22,950,000 to account for additional Federal Highway Administration funding being received at no cost to the City of Pittsburgh.
Councilman Strasburger?
I'd like to make a motion to waive the rules of council so that Bill 76 appears on tomorrow's agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council Bill 76 will be on tomorrow's agenda. Councilman Warwick?
Thank you.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 77, Resolution amending Resolution 442 of 2023, which provided for a reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the bridge over Route 51 near Woodruff Street, also referred to as the Parking Lot Bridge Project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $625,000. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement and increase of $28,000 at a total not to exceed cost of $29,250. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. And Bill 78, Resolution amending Resolution 512 of 2023, which provided for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the Charles Anderson Bridge Project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $59,890,000, an increase of $6,200,000. from the previously executed agreement for costs associated with the construction phase of the project due to this phase being 100% federally funded. This resolution serves to authorize only the amended reimbursement agreement or agreements at a cost not to exceed $6,250. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. And Bill 79, resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh and the director of the Department of Public Works to receive grant funding from the Pittsburgh Arena Real Estate Redevelopment LP to benefit the rehabilitation of the city-owned Ammon Recreation Center and Park in the Hill District neighborhood in the amount of $500,000.
Councilwoman Warwick, do you have a motion to waive Rule 8 on Bill 78?
Oh, yes, thanks. Motion to waive Rule 8.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill 78 will appear on tomorrow's agenda. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, I have 2 appointments.
Council President R. Daniel Lavelle presents Bill 80, resolution appointing Clara Katongo as a member of the Shade Tree Commission with a term to expire January 1st, 2028. And Bill 87, resolution appointing Kahari Mosley to the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board of Directors for a term to expire on March 1st, 2027. This appointee will serve in a seat designated for council that was vacated by Councilman Ricky Burgess, whose term expired and resigned. And
For Bill 80, we need a motion to either interview or approve. This is the appointment to the Shade Tree Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appointment has been approved, and we need a motion to read, receive, and file for Bill 80. No, 80. We need to make, for Bill 87 is a vote for Councilman Mosley. Right. So we need a motion to approve the appointment of Councilman Mosley.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilman Mosley has now been appointed to the Land Bank Board. Congratulations. And then lastly, we have one informing bill, Bill 81.
Bill 81, resolution appointing Lauren Conley as a member of the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh Board of Directors with a term to expire December 2nd, 2026.
And for this, we simply need a motion to read, receive, and file.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, the bill has been read, received, and filed. Is there any unfinished business before members? If not, that takes us to reports of Committee on Final Action. We'll begin with Councilwoman Erica Schwarzberger, Committee on Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 61, Report of the Committee on Finance and Law for January 24th, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 10, Resolution to authorize and direct the incurring of non-electoral debt through the issuance of a series of general obligation bonds of the City of Pittsburgh in the maximum aggregate principal amount of $62,495,000. Bill 25, Ordinance amending Title I Administrative, Article 9 Boards, Commissions, and Authorities, Chapter 177A, Equal Opportunity Review Commission in order to clarify scope of EORC review. Bill 26, Resolution ratifying the 2024 through 2028 International Association of Firefighters Local 1 Collective Bargaining Agreement. Bill 28, Resolution amending Resolution 865 of 2023, providing for an agreement or agreements and a lease or leases by and between the City of Pittsburgh and First Vehicle Services, a transdev company, pursuant to which First Vehicle will furnish all work and services needed to manage and maintain the city's vehicle fleet. Cost shall not exceed $78,349,343.75 over a 6-year period. Bill 29, Resolution repealing an item in Resolution number 674 of 2022, effective date December 2nd, 2022, in order to rescind the sale. Bill 30, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the City of Pittsburgh at tax sales, items A through K. A, 268 Lombard Street, B, 2431 Wiley Avenue, C, 746 Clarissa Street, D, 4918 Rosetta Street, E, 0 Isoline Street, F, 123 Overbeck Street, G, 149 Henderson Street, H, 1400 Tumbo Street, I, 510 Stratmore Avenue, J, 512 Stratmore Avenue, and K, 514 Stratmore Avenue. Bill 31, resolution providing for the conveyance by the City of Pittsburgh of certain property having been placed for sale to adjoining property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program. Items A through N. A, 2825 Webster Avenue, B, 2823 Webster Avenue, C, 5163 Hillcrest Street, D, 415 North Graham Street, F, 6506 Meadow Street, G, 7042 Kedron Street, H, 1050 Wheeler Street, I, 0 Oakwood Street, J, 0 Oakwood Street, K, 5874 Douglas Street, L, 516 Cedarhurst Street, M, 3003 Zephyr Avenue, N, 419 Marshall Avenue.
Having heard the reading and the titles of the bills, is there any discussion? Councilwoman Kell Smith?
Thank you. I'd like to amend Bill 0030, and the amendments before you to strike some of the properties in District 2. What my concern is that the one person mentions that he wants to live in the property, but he's buying 3 of them, and so I don't think he can live in all 3. But I just really don't have an explanation yet from the city. Can I just ask you a process, though? If I strike him, how long does it take to get him back on, if I want to put him back on? Do you know that? I can't remember. Does anybody know?
So you could initiate legislation to bring them back to the table if you decide that you want them to then move forward.
Okay, good. Okay, that's all. I don't want to stop something that might be a good thing. That's all. But today I want to stop it. Do I know?
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill 30 has been amended. Any further discussion on the bills?
No. Just thank you for your help through that.
Thank you. Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Garland?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross? Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally. Next is Councilwoman Warwick presenting on the Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, we did. We're up here.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 62, Report of the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for January 24th, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 32, Resolution authorizing the City of Pittsburgh, the Director of Public Works, and Director of Finance to enter into an easement agreement or agreements with Duquesne Light Company to provide, install, use, own, operate, maintain, repair, renew, and finally remove 2 pole anchors located upon city-owned property in Shenley Park. And Bill 33, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an easement with Duquesne Light Company to provide a permanent easement for vegetation management on city-owned property.
Thank you. Having read the reading and titles of the bills, is there any discussion? If not, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their name is called. All those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross? Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
The bills having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally. That will take us on to Councilman Bobby Wilson presenting on the Committee on Land Use and Economic
Thank you, Mr.
Development.
President.
Thank you.
Councilman Bobby Wilson presents Bill 63, Report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for January 24th, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 34, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement or agreements with Program to Aid Citizens Enterprise for technical assistance services to nonprofits awarded neighborhood economic development grants in need of capacity building for a sum not to exceed $32,700 for the payment of the cost thereof. And Bill 41, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code, Title 7, Business Licensing, Article 5, Trade Occupations, Chapter 751, Contractor Registration, by adding language defining contractor and construction and updating references to both entities across chapter.
You have heard the reading and the titles of the bills. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally. That takes us to Councilman Mosley presenting on the Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Kahari Mosley presents Bill 64, Report of the Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for January 24, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 19, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for Act 537 Plan Update Special Study for Brentwood Borough at no cost to the city. Bill 20, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 3133 Forbes Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15213 at no cost to the city. Bill 21, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 3045 Sarah Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15203 at no cost to the city. Bill 22, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for proposed land development located along Grandview Avenue at the intersections of Augusta Street and Shaler Street, including the following parcel numbers: 6G10, 6G12, 6G16, 6G18, 6G20, 6G22, 6G30, 6G31, 6G32, 6G33, 6G34, 6G35, 6G36, 6G39, 6G40, 6G42, 6G43, 6G46, 6G51, 6G67, 6G68, 6G69, and 6G70 at no cost to the city. Bill 23, Resolution authorizing the Mayor, the Director of Public Works, and the Director of Finance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into permanent easements with Pennsylvania American Water Company for the installation, maintenance, repair, operation, and removal of a water line on city-owned property at the end of Manuka Street. And Bill 24, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a data sharing agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority for each party to share certain data with the other at no cost to the city.
Thank you. Having heard the reading and the titles of the bills, is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bills having received the final votes are hereby passed. That takes us to motions and resolutions. Is there anything from members? Councilwoman Gross, would you like to register?
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. President. Yes, may I register aye votes on the bills that I missed while I was out of the chambers?
Duly noted. Thank you. Anything else from members? If not, that takes us to meeting announcements. Council Standing Committee meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday, January 31st at 10 a.m. To register to speak, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage or call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Speaker registration will close 9 a.m. the morning of. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.